Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're back here in the system of Isinos. We're here after the disaster, the poppage, the destruction of my Paladin. Now, if you guys have not seen the previous video on this, make sure to check that out. Basically, I lose my Paladin, which I used to snipe Triglavian hunting. It was a very unfortunate experience. I didn't expect to lose it. I really did not expect to lose it. It was a pure coincidence that I happened to warp in 100 kilometers at this Triglavian fleet, and there happened to be a golem who also warped in 100 kilometers, and he had brought the Triglavians right on top of us, and it made us all to die because we were both kiting fits, not made to brawl. He expected to survive, it seems like, and he did not survive. He died, and then it kept the fleet there, obviously, because he died. I was unaware that the fleet was there, so when I warped in after he died, yep, I was toast. So I lost my Paladin. I managed to scoop a bunch of loot, including the Golem's loot, actually, and I've contracted it back to him. He still hasn't accepted it, so I'll see how it goes. But we'll see if he eventually accepts it. I've even written him a mail, actually, so I think I'll hopefully get a reply from him soon. My guess is that he decided to not play or for a bit, or take a bit of a break after the tragedy that happened, because he lost a pretty bling golem. I was looking at Ezekiel and I couldn't find Ezekiel, and it can actually be that sometimes when you can set a setting so that if you die to NPCs, it doesn't show on Ezekiel. It's just a thing you can do, I think. At least I used to do that a long time ago in Nullsec when I used to play there a very, very long time ago. People in our corp would say, "Oh no, make sure you put your Ezekiels to not show NPC kill males because you look like an idiot dying to NPCs." Because people would die to NPCs in Nullsec, and the CEOs are getting very salty that people were dying to NPCs, so they told people to put this like setting on so that it wouldn't show all these like newbies dying and like that. But that was old times. Now we're in new times where I'm mostly playing by myself in HiSec. And what I wanted to show you guys is how I transport stuff in HiSec. So as we can see here in this cargo hold, we've got a bit of stuff. 197 million ISK worth of items in here. And this is stuff that I would want to sell. A lot of this is the loot from the previous encounters I've encountered in my Paladin. We're wrecking Triglavians. You get so much good ISK. Like, look at this. All this Triglavian loot. This was hardly any time I spent, and I got this amount of ISK. Unfortunately, like, within, like, probably less than maybe 30-40 minutes worth of sight running, and then that was when I died. So I not spent... This is all from, like, 30-40 minutes. Like, hardly any time it felt like, and I got all this ISK right here. The rest you've got here is from the scooping of loot. So from a Paladin, we've got a bunch of stuff here. It was mainly text 2 stuff, it's nothing crazy. But we're going to transport this back to Jita. And I want to show you guys how I transport stuff in HiSec, because, I mean, this is some valuable cargo. People would maybe perhaps want to gank me with this kind of cargo. Now, obviously, you know, it's not that much. I could even carry more stuff, but this can be done with a lot more expensive stuff. This is not just like 197 million. You can do this with a lot more expensive stuff. But I'm going to first here use my Dramiel to go to Jita, because what I do is I've got this Sunesis, and I've showed this before. The Sunesis is a really good transport ship. It's a good ship to haul stuff, a hauling ship, a cargo ship, transport ship, whatever you call it. It's a very good ship for that purpose, for carrying stuff in HiSec, because you have like the really good, like the align speed is very fast. Instantly aligns like our Dramiel does right here. But on the other hand, it has a love tank, and it also has a very good cargo hold as well. So if I go here, Sunesis, I think I've got it here, Cargoneisis, I think, yeah. This is the ship where I use here. 11,000 EHP of shield HP here. And this is not any active modules or anything. It's always going to have this 11k EHP. Omni as well, not any kind of resist hull or anything like that. Omni tank is a good tank. And this is what you got here. And then you've got the Insta Align. Less than 2-second align speed. And then I've got 1.4k cubic meters. Some decent amount of cargo space right here. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to use this to transport the items that we had in that station of Isinos, because we had about 1.1k cubic meters, so it'll all fit in just one go in a Sunesis. So it's a very, very good ship to transport these kind of items. When I do Triglavian hunting, I do actually not use this Sunesis. The reason I am using this Sunesis is because I lost my Paladin. Otherwise, I usually transport the loot in my Paladin or Marauder. The reason is because you can travel fit it, so you can put like an MWD and cloak, so you can do the MWD cloak trick, so you're relatively safe. Obviously not 100% safe, but you're relatively safe when you're traveling in high sec going around with that. But on the other hand, the Sunesis is very fast, so it's going to do the journey very quick, but I'm anyway going to have to remove my Marauder back to Jita or some place to resupply, restock it. May as well carry the loot in there. Now I'm going to go to Jita, and also something that I will do is that I will go with my crystal implants. Right now I've got my Asclepian implants in right now. If you can look here, see in my augmentations, bloop, high grade Asclepians. This is good. I mean, I have it just for armor based ships. For the case of the Paladin, it's very good to have these, but really they weren't at all useful there. The point of the Paladin fit I used was to snipe. It's meant to shoot stuff and not take damage. These Asclepian implants, they boost my armor repair rate by quite a big margin, but it's not like we're going to really utilize it a lot. So it's not really that useful for the Paladin in that particular use case of Triglavian hunting. But what crystal implants are good for is good for shield boosting, and they'll be very good for using the golem to do some Triglavian hunting. And that's what I'm thinking of doing in the future. Perhaps next time or some other day in the near future, we will do some Triglavian hunting in the golem, because I feel like doing that. I want to get revenge on the Triglavians for our Paladin lost. We're going to avenge my Paladin, because it is not going to be okay that we like rest upon us losing a Paladin to the Triglavians like this. We're going to have to bring some... We're going to have to bring revenge to these guys. It's going to... The war has not ended. The war has not ended. So we're going to take this golem. It's going to go straight in and wreck these guys again in the next Triglavian invasion system we can find. Obviously not now. I'm pretty busy right now in real life, so I don't have time to do this right now. So we're just going to do this cargo trip right here. And I want to show you guys how good the Sunesis is at a hauling ship. But in the future, we're going to do some more Triglavian stuff that involves the crystal implants and the golem, because I don't have my Paladin now. The only option I've got really is the golem, and the golem is also good because if we were in the previous situation we were in where we got caught by Triglavians, that's the whole point. The golem I have, it's made to get caught. It's made to face tank stuff. So it is just a beast of a ship, an absolute boss that just takes beating and just destroys everything in its wake. It's a really powerful ship. So it's very great. It's just, you know, a little bit more expensive than my Paladin. It's not that bad though for how much it's on, but it's a bit more expensive, so it's always nice to be able to go in a really dirt cheap ship, or like a relatively dirt cheap ship, because my Paladin that I used before was only Tech 2 fitted, very basic fit. The golem has got a bit of bling. Not crazy bling, but a bit of bling. Alright, docked up here. So we can leave this Drammy here, the Dramiel, that is to be a potential frigate escape bay of some ship here. We will go with the golem, the Goli, as I call it here. Frigate escape bay, Goli Beastie. Mr. Goli Beastie isn't there. I figure out all these strange names for my ships. No, we don't want to use a golem. What am I doing? No. But this is the ship we will in the future use. The golem right here. Alright. So what I want to use is I want to use a destroyer. And I've got a few Sunesis here. I think this guy is a Cargoneisis, or this one here. I'll see. I think this one is fitted to be, yeah, this is fitted to be a hauling ship, because I've slightly altered some of fits. Like some of them I've used for exploration, some of them I used for other activities like Abyss, and I've sort of switched them around and just made them to some of the hauling ships and switched around the fits. The Sunesis, they're very versatile ships. You can do almost anything in them. You can do, like as you can see here, a very good hauling ship. You can have a very good exploration ship because it gets a bonus to the core probe scanner strength, I think it is. It's core probe scanner strength, yeah. And it's got overall pretty good combat capability, so you can do a base, you can do combat exploration. You could probably even do some maybe L2, maybe even L3 missions if you have enough arsenal in your ship. Alright, go here to the next system, and you can see we align instantly. It is so chill. The ship is so great. Really, the only thing there are two things that could pop this: a really big smart bomb camp, like a really big, because it's not usually you don't have smart bombs that are that big that they'll take 11k or 12k HP even. Look, it's even more here. Usually it's not going to be that much damage from smart bombs, and if it is, that'll usually be a null sec. where there's people are able to actually, or low sec people are able to like assemble really big fleets of smart bombing people that can kill this. Another is if someone has like these so-called ultra lockers. There's something called ultra lockers, and it somehow has to do with people who play EVE Online that are very close to London. They're able to get a really good connection that they can even lock you up somehow when you align here. I'm not too familiar with the concept, but I've heard that there are some people who are able to lock up these sub 2-second align time ships somehow. They've got a very good connection or something like that. But I have been using sub 2-second align time ships for probably, I would say, 3 years now. I have never ever been bothered by any of these very fast scanning ships. It does obviously have a lot to do with that I'm mainly in high sec, so I'm not usually going to be encountering these insta-locking people, because probably those kind of people who insta-lock people, they're sitting on gates in low sec wanting to catch people, because if your ship is so specialized to lock up stuff quickly, it's probably not going to be good suicide ganker like it would be in high sec. The thing is, I've been thinking is, since we're going to be switching from Asclepian implants to crystal implants, I was thinking it's quite good because, you know, you got a bit of synergy going on, right? You got a bit of synergy between the Golem, then you got a bit of synergy between Abyss Aguilas as well with the Shield Booster. Shield Boosters are going to be more effective. And then I'm thinking, okay, but we don't have so much synergy with the high sec exploration, because I do my high sec exploration in the Hecate. And the Hecate uses armor repair, right? So either I could put a shield boost on the Hecate, or I could just switch over to a shield-based ship such as the Jackdaw. And I think the Jackdaw could be good. A lot of people have been telling me to use the Jackdaw in high-sec exploration. I'm not too fond of that. Me personally, I'm not too fond of that, because the missiles that take time to land on the targets, the Hecate and other turret-based ships, their guns hit instantly. It's a lot more quicker. Like, it adds, the seconds do add up. So for these kind of very quick in and out kind of procedures, such as the Gristis hideaways, Gristis refuges, I prefer to have something that just locks up stuff and just blaps them instantly. Not like a couple of half a second or 1 second per NPC wait time for having to get the missiles to hit. But I have seen a lot of people saying that auto-targeting missiles on a Jackdaw can be very good. I'm sure it is very relaxing just shooting them and warping to a site. A bad thing about the auto-targeting missiles one has to keep in mind is that they don't work too well when other people are there, which I often do run the sites. People say I'm mean, but I do it anyway. That I do sites, high-sec combat sites, when other people are there, and you can have problems then, because the way the auto-targeting missiles work is only if the NPCs are targeting or shooting you. I can't remember which one, but only the ones that are focusing you, you're going to shoot, so you won't be able to shoot everything. Well, if you're using a manually targeted ship, then you will be hitting everything, no exceptions. You will be hitting everything. And I guess you could maybe made the argument that, you know, the time it takes to lock up stuff is the same amount of time as it takes for missiles to hit their target, and it might be. I've just always loved the way that the Hecate and Confessor are able to just instantly just blap 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 with their guns of these NPCs. It'll be fun to see what kind of stuff we can come up with the high-grade crystals. Gonna have to switch over for a bit. The Asclepians are also very good for mission running. They're very good for mission running, because the Nurgle is a very good ship for mission running. You can do the burners, and the Asclepians help a lot there. And then you just use something like a Paladin for mission running. The Asclepians also help there, so you got very good synergy there. So it would be nice. What would, in my ideal world, would be is to have a mission running ship that could do all burners that was shield booster based, like the Nurgle, a shielded Nurgle. That's my dream. It'd be so good, because then I could use some other kind of shield based mission ship. I could use a Golem maybe for missioning. Could even maybe use like a shield based Kronos. I've seen people do that. Zach. The Zach is a YouTuber who likes to use the shield based Kronos and Paladin a lot. Yeah, it would be quite fun to be able to have a unified burner ship that use high-grade crystal implants, or shield-based ships that can utilize those crystal implants. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case. But that's sort of the result of all that discussion I just had now about switching over to different implants. The result of me losing the Paladin that was carrying these beam lasers here. You can see its large armor repair is sitting right in here. that was being fueled by Asclepian implants. So what we're going to do here is, you see, is the cubic meters 1,100. We can just take everything and put it in here. Boop. Just like that, because of how good this ship is. Wait, we've got 1,200? I thought we had 1,400. Oh, I see. I see. What's happened here is that it seems like this is a different fit. This might be a different fit from before. Yeah, this is a slightly different fit here than what I'm currently using. This one has a bit more tank, slightly less cargo space. Okay, so we've got a bit of balance here, because this one is using some kind of like low friction nozzle joints here. See, there's low friction nozzle joints, and it just a sub 2 second align time. This one right here has a little bit, well, the one we're using right now has a little bit less, but if it's below 2, then it'll be exactly the same pretty much as if it's 1.8 or 1.9. There won't be any difference. The main thing is below 2 seconds, the align time. You'll notice the difference in align speed. So I guess this one would be, this one here would be better, because we're like fully utilizing the sub 2 second align time. Here we got a little bit too much align speed, or here we got a little bit too low align speed. Like, it'll be perfect just to use as little modules for align speed as possible to become a sub 2 second. But on the other hand, the other one does have more cargo, so it's nice to see that that has more cargo. I'll leave the fits in the description below. You guys can choose which one to use. Alright, so we've got everything in here. 200 million worth of cargo. Let's undock. Jita, set destination. Let's go. So this is how it is. The Sunesis is a really like chill ship, and for anyone transporting not crazy large quantities or volumes in high sec, you wanted to transport some like high value cargo. It's not crazy big, but it's still got some decent size to it. The Sunesis is a perfect ship for that job. It is just really the solver of many of my troubles of logistics in high sec. It makes it so simple with our sub 2 second align time. You can actually use a different ship called the Hek 8 Tech 3 Destroyer. This ship can also be a cargo ship if you want it to be. It is a bit more expensive, just keep that in mind. But you can do something like this. Okay, if you go in the propulsion mode, then you put something like a damage control, and you put expanded cargo hold, 1, 2, 3, and then you put some medium shield extenders. Medium. We can put actually a Republic Fleet medium, probably. This will be a bit better. There we go. So get there. We've got the Republic Fleet medium shield extenders over there. Cargo hold optimization. We can put a small shield extender here. This one slot here. And we have 14k EHP, 1.6k cargo. Wait, we're a little bit overloaded here in the rigs. Cargo hold. There we go. 14k EHP, 1.5k M3, and we've got a sub 2 second align time with this propulsion mode. And if we wanted to, if we expect smart bombs, we could go in this defense mode and get 15k EHP, but it's hardly any difference from this propulsion mode. You can probably do some other kind of ways to get some more tank. Like put some active modules that use more CPU, for example. Probably that would have been better actually if we put like something like a multi-spectrum, shield hardener, something like that, for example. That could be a possibility as well. But I mean, still, it's not that much better than the Sunesis. Costs a lot more and requires a lot more skills too. Now, this is quite expensive because of the items we've got in here. It's not because that our ship is worth that much. Without all this stuff, it's worth a lot less. You can see here, Cargoneisis, only 22 million. So it's a pretty cheap ship for what it does. Some things I've been considering to use are the blockade runners and the deep space transports. The Tech 2 transport ships, the Tech 2 hauling ships, they can be pretty good, especially the deep space transports, because they can have really good tanks. So even if people do gank you, it's quite high likelihood you will survive because of how tanky you are. The blockade runners are very cool because you can use the covert ops cloak. If you do fail the covert ops cloak, you can die. They've got the ability of being immune to cargo scans, I believe. If we go for here, the crane, because I've trained into this one here. The crane is the Caldari one. Immune to cargo scans, yeah. So people are going to gank you probably a lot in this because they can never know if you're carrying good stuff or not. So if they do gank you, it's like you may as well have had nothing in them. It feels, to me, it feels a bit risky because people do get ganked in these, and there's no way to really know if they got cargo or not. So seeing that they do get ganked tells me that, oh, people like to just kill these willy-nilly. So I feel like it's a bit more like flying this is saying that, oh, I actually am hiding something. And if you mess up stuff with the cloak, it can go sideways as well. It's hard to do that though with a covert ops cloaking device. It does have a covert ops cloaking device, right? You can have cloaking devices, covert ops cloaking device. Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot easier to use a covert ops cloaking device than like a standard cloaking device and use MWD cloak trick. You just activate the covert ops cloaking device as soon as you exit the gate. And the deep space transports, such as the Impel, are very tanky. Very tanky. You can get them to be really tanky. Very strong ships. So, I mean, they may get ganked, but they can carry big stuff, but it's going to take a big fleet to kill them. It's not something that's going to die easily. I was thinking of using them. They're quite expensive ships, though. And they still don't beat the Sunesis for what I want to do. Like, they're still going to go pretty much the same speed as the Sunesis. In fact, maybe slower because of how they lack the align time of the Sunesis. They have obviously really good cargo space, which the Sunesis doesn't have. But, again, they're much more expensive. 10 times the price of a Sunesis. So, I would love to just keep running the Sunesis, really. It's just the ship that is so great for basic high-sec transport. Obviously, if I wanted like more cargo space, deep space transport, and these kind of ships would be a lot better. Like if we go into the fitting here, you can already see just straight off the bat it's got 3k cubic meters, so it is a very a lot of space we've got here. And if we go something like a crane, for example, blockade runner, 5k off the bat, so it's got a pretty good amount of cargo space going on right here. And unless, you know, the transport ships bonus 2k cargo spaces, Caldari Industrials. So if you wanted to carry bigger volumes, this would be good. But honestly, the Sunesis does get the job done for what I want to do, so I'm happy with it for the time being. Probably in the future, if I want to do some bigger hauls, crane would be more relevant. Alright, there we go. We're here back in Jita with our loot that we got from our dead Paladin. Unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. We at least managed to get something on the way out. There we go. Pour all this stuff in the junk like this. Can maybe put some frequency crystals. I like putting my frequency crystals in used crystals box because they take a lot of space. All we can do is just sell all the invasion loot to get at least a profit from the stuff, small, quote-unquote small stuff we earned from the limited lifespan of my Paladin. But the thing is, I'm not that unhappy about it. The Paladin, I have been using it for quite a while now. I've earned back probably a lot more than it's worth. So I feel still like the Paladin did do a good run. I had a good run in the Paladin. So there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video right here. That's a bit of hauling in my Sunesis. I want to show you guys how I haul stuff, how I haul quite expensive stuff from time to time in high sec with a relatively chill attitude to it in a relatively basic fit to use, and it is also pretty safe. So it's just how a good way to do some basic logistics if you're not hauling that big cargo, but still it's not as tiny that you would want to have it maybe in an interceptor. Maybe it's a bit bigger than an interceptor cargo space. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.